In March 2026, Robert Mueller died in Virginia at the age of 81. His passing brought immediate, high-level praise from across the political aisle. Former presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama released statements honoring a man they described as a patriot who saved lives through decades of public service. But Donald Trump responded with a different tone, posting that he was, quote, "glad he's dead," so that Mueller could no longer hurt innocent people. Mueller was a decorated combat veteran and the longest-serving FBI director since J. Edgar Hoover. Yet by the end of his life, he was the target of the most intense partisan hatred in modern memory. Mueller's entire career was dictated by a single, unyielding personality trait, an uncompromising, rigid adherence to institutional rules. That rigidity started in Vietnam. Mueller volunteered for the Marines, leading a rifle platoon through combat, earning him the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart. As a federal prosecutor, he applied that same discipline to high-stakes cases, overseeing the convictions of Panamanian leader Manuel Noriega and New York mob boss John Gotti. He built a reputation as a formal, strictly by-the-book lawman, a prosecutor who wore only white shirts and focused entirely on the mechanics of taking down the bad guys. These years created a man who viewed the world strictly through the rule of law. To Mueller, there was right, there was wrong, and there was the manual. Mueller took over as FBI director on September 4, 2001, exactly 1 week before the September 11th attacks. This chart represents the FBI's pre-9/11 design, a decentralized agency where field offices solved local crimes independently, rarely sharing data. Mueller's mandate was to reroute those nodes, transforming the Bureau into a centralized national security apparatus, forcing agents to find global intelligence patterns. Within months, Mueller had turned a century-old law enforcement bureaucracy into an intelligence-led security organization, proving just how much change he could force through top-down discipline. In 2004, that discipline led to a standoff in a Washington hospital. Mueller and James Comey rushed to the bedside of an ailing attorney general to stop White House officials from bypassing the law. Mueller threatened to resign on the spot rather than allow the Bush administration to reauthorize a domestic wiretapping program that was deemed unconstitutional. Mueller's framework dictated that he would not bend the law for anyone, not even the president who had appointed him. In 2017, Mueller was called out of retirement to serve as special counsel. He was tasked with investigating Russian election interference in an environment that was more politically charged than anything he had faced before. His team spent 22 months documenting foreign interference, eventually issuing 34 indictments against individuals ranging from Russian intelligence officers to senior Trump campaign associates. The investigation produced a 448-page report. Following DOJ policy against indicting a sitting president, Mueller refused to charge Trump, but he refused to exonerate him, writing that if evidence showed the president clearly did not commit a crime, the report would state that. This nuanced technical conclusion was the ultimate expression of Mueller's character, following the exact letter of the law, regardless of the political fallout. Mueller assumed the institution would take it from there. He believed that by delivering the evidence to Congress, the system would function as designed. Instead, his silence was weaponized. Donald Trump branded the report a hoax, while Democrats were left disappointed by a man who refused to step outside his legal boundaries to make a final accusation. Mueller's legalistic approach was consumed by a post-truth political landscape that didn't care about his rules. The same rigid adherence to the rules that allowed Mueller to protect the country after 9/11 left him vulnerable in a polarized era. He remained the good Marine, playing by the book, even when the rest of Washington had set that book on fire.